Hey guys, how you doing? Coach Mitch here. So let's talk about the CBPO and the BP interviews process. I've been doing this for like a long time. So there was a time where the BP interview was the toughest. It still is the toughest. But I'm seeing though this migration, this adaptation of the CBPO interview process starting to reflect some of the BP type processes, meaning that it's getting to be more challenging now. And some things I notice off the top, of course, I've been doing this for a long time, is that for one thing, they are getting more and more impatient with you. So by that I mean people who are not prepared for this interview, they're going to understand that very quickly, and you're going to find yourself disqualified before you know it. They're not waiting around anymore, not giving you a lot of chances anymore. They're getting right down to the questions and they want you to have the answers almost immediately. Now, for those of you who walk in there thinking it's going to be a civilian type interview, those guys always get kicked off first and never make it because you're not preparing yourself. I know I'm just one channel trying to tell you guys the facts of this interview process, but it's not going to be a civilian based interview whatsoever. They don't care what college you went to, they don't care how many degrees you have, they don't care where you're going to be in 5 years. All of that is irrelevant in the CBPO or any interview, actually. But for the CBPO, they don't care about that. They're going to ask you questions regarding what you're going to do, not how high your GPA is. Number two is this. You got to be ready for questions on top of questions. That's where they're going now. They're getting into that mode where they're starting to mimic some of the BP type formats and processes and approaches, right? You have to understand that's the new formulary for 2026. Now, I've been trying to warn people about this for a long time, and some listen, some don't. Those in my coaching program, I fully prepare you for this reality, and that's the reality. We see this merger almost where CP is going more into the BP type way, right? Number three is being nervous. You can be nervous all you want, that's fine. I don't mind that either. It's part of the process. However, you can't be so nervous that you freeze up. And that's the issue. Some people are getting to these interviews, the Zoom opens up, and what's happening, and you're freezing. Freezing comes from not practicing to understand the right questions, how to answer the right questions, what the processes are for the right questions, what's expected for the right questions. Freezing happens when you walk in there with the civilian type mindset. I don't know why you're going to do that. It's a federal level law enforcement interview with a paramilitary background. There is no room at all for the civilian type answers to these questions. These guys are playing hardball. You're thinking, well, why are they so tough, Coach Mitch? Because they can pick the best of the best. They can pick who they want to, right? They have thousands of people all the time who try to apply for this process. Of all of those who don't make it, they pick the creme de la creme. The interview is one of the few parts of the process where you have the majority control. Well, what do you mean by that? I mean this. They're going to ask you 3, 4, 5 questions. With enough practice and understanding how the process works, you can answer those 3, 4, or 5 questions. It's one of the few parts of the process in your control. You don't control the medical. You don't control the poly, the background investigation. None of it's in your control. But the interview, you do control. That's a big deal. Number 4 is this, not understanding the question process. Yes, there is a process to their question. There's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. If you don't understand that part, right, what's their mission? Why are they asking me these kinds of questions? You have to understand that. It's like if your car breaks down, you got to understand what part of the car you got to apply yourself to fix it, right? It's the same thing here. You can't sit there, the Zoom opens up, and you're not ready for anything. You can't do that. Well, Coach Mitch, I practice with my loved one, with my sister, my brother, my wife, my husband. Doesn't matter because they don't know how to critique you the right way. And many of us too have loved ones who really love us. That means sometimes they're not going to tell us the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. You guys already know who are in my coaching program. I tell you the truth all the time because I want you to win. That's important to me. I want you to get that badge on your chest. I cannot do that if I'm all soft and nice to you. It's not going to happen that way, right? My coaching is like a mini boot camp. You're going to be put through the process. I'm going to show you how to do it so you can handle it. Some people tell me my coaching is harder than the actual interview. That's like a sweet music to my ears. It means I'm over prepping you for the interview so you fly through with flying colors. It's a nice compliment for me to hear that I'm preparing you guys for this battle that to the point that you're ready for it. Last thing, asking questions. I don't know why you guys aren't doing this still. You know, you guys are wondering why you didn't pass, right? And part of that is that, Well, Coach Mitch, sometimes I'm not allowed to ask a question. Well, that's okay. The thing is, do you have a question locked and loaded? That's the issue. Are your questions locked and loaded? Don't go in there and say, no, I don't have any questions at all. No. There's two specific questions I train you how to ask on purpose to make sure you're prepared. Now, they might say, hey, we don't have time for that. That's fine. But you still want the record on record that you were asking, could you ask those questions? It's real basic stuff here, folks, as far as this is concerned. If you really want to get into the minutia of it, understand how to pass this interview, get that 90.4% pass rate advantage that my program delivers year in and year out. Because the pass rate for the CBP is 39.8%. I double that. Why? Because I care, right? I invest in you because your success is tied into my success. They are symbiotic. They're together. Very symbiotic. If you want a chance at that, get into my CBPO interview practice as soon as you can because my classes always fill up. Everybody knows that already. But if you're serious about this career change, you think about, you know what? I'm tired of doing my career for 8 or 9 years. I want to do something different, serve my country, a bigger purpose than what I'm doing right now. CBPO is the way to go. Let me know if you're serious. Get into my coaching program down below. Get into my calendar. Find a spot that's good for you. And you and I will go one-on-one to get you ready for this new career. I wish all you guys the best. You take care. Coach Mitch. Bye-bye.